Good evening. So it's Wednesday, the 7th of August 2024, and this is the next chapter in my YouTube book called How to Save a Human Race. The true path of our life on this earth is to utilize our uniquest gifts and talents and abilities to help steer the development of humanity towards reaching our ultimate state of being, the state of Bodhisattva or enlightenment, visibly and without question. But this cannot be a carbon copy of that which came before, or it is not true human evolution. The demonstration of our enlightenment must be evident by our choices, our sacrifices, our understandings, and our expression of that understanding. Importantly, how we then share our wisdom. What strategy did we take? I lived on the front line of life and never took a self-indulgent path venturing off into the wild wilderness alone. I chose this for the important lesson I learned as a young woman that it is more significant to society to aid change from within. That is, from within the existing structure, breaking through by causing the very systems to crumble from within, such that their former state crumbles away to reveal the new aligned version that is supported, aligned and in unity with all, and without the friction of oppression. Being on the front line of life, then, is the ultimate true leadership position. Falling down in the same fashion the most vulnerable of our community falls, in a sense holding up a sword to society, then free falling onto it, the blade being the harsh corruption and evil that once drove our human community and all the evil lies and deceit. By being on this front line of life, a Bodhisattva can truly grow and appreciate all that the spectrum of our community experiences, as well as feel empathetically the full roundedness of those hurts directly, and then use this understanding to forge a new mind. Healing the wounds of corrupted societal structures is now in motion, transforming life as we know it. I believe our challenge at this time is to totally change our societal codes to align with the universal light and the source of all life. Finding the communication pathways that transcend suffering to lift all souls. These pathways are the new source codes that will be in operation after the realization of global peace at the end of all war. These are those that embody actual expression of human rights, given freely and embraced wholly. Because of these new source codes taking over, there will be no further isolation or abuse or discrimination. The currencies will be goodness, kindness, generous giving, and love as always. There will no longer be land ownership, barring or fences physically, spiritually, or emotionally. Humankind will become a community of self-supporting beings with no desire to harm each other. Each of us is part of the change in the DNA expression of mankind, whether we like it or not. Forgiveness is the most understated expression of kindness and love that humanity must focus on if we are to advance. Forgiveness is a full force of all of its own. A healing miracle that we need only request from our malevolent God, and it is then granted without question. That power is our truest hope and our future. Forgiveness is a form of love unconditional, a release and a true freedom pathway to peace. We must forgive ourselves to move into our brightest future. Let that shit go, as they say. There can be no withholding of forgiveness if we are to blossom into our highest state of light. Forgive ourselves, our mistakes, our forefathers, our past, our wrong choices, our wasted time. We must deeply acknowledge our commitment to forgiveness by sharing our insights and rejoicing in them, celebrating the release of all of humanity's past mistakes. We must forgive our enemies with our whole heart, always. Once we live in the mindset of appreciation and forgiveness, then begins our personal transformation into living our soul's light. We cannot experience true light of our spirit without being humble and feeling God's love in our thoughts, words, and deeds. And in our entire existence, day to day, week to week, and year to year, we must give thanks for our own magnificent ability to forgive and see all with new eyes. Deepen your experience of compassion, kindness, love, and friendship for the betterment of all. As you lift yourself up into new dimensions of higher light, others can see this and follow you. The future is there for all to share. It is absolute, possible, and probable our utopian humanity can be achieved. It will be reached in unity as the systems mutate. The wealth and abundance, peace, joy, and harmony will be ecstatic. I am only a lone disciple, but this position is a position nonetheless. Every person's opinion has value in the universe. Every person's life is a song. The new codes synchronize our souls after we push through the human transformation period of the first 200 years of the age of Aquarius. The new codes help us to revise and delete all selfish wants from the human program. Selfish wants become a psychiatric malfunction requiring intervention. That is our only hope, to live in the embrace of our mutual humanity, the platform of life. The new source codes take somewhat of an axe to urban design. Cities are built vertically in the distant future using mind powers that allow structures to hover in space. This mental balancing act takes time to develop through the lifespan. Toddlers build block towers using the skill that frequently collapse as the child's concentration wanes or during an experience of emotional trauma. Lovers in rifts no longer hurl plates at each other. They simply push vases off tables as effortlessly as cats using their mind. And so, cats were a clue, leading us to this outcome all along. The new source codes were written to promote our integration with animal friends. Entire books of the code dedicated to developing animal languages and relationships, cohabitation guides, and consultation requirements and procedures. In the future, cats, who are our execs, are bigwigs in the game of life. Species protection and conservation takes the turn I predicted it would, with species under threat being kept in family homes and funding for their care provided by a designated welfare payment from Centrelink. Every community is under obligation through government rules to provide for the species in habitat preservation spaces enmeshed in our urban designs. There are no more human-only dwellings in the future. Homes must comply with energy provisions, water conservation, and consumable plant growing for bees and birds and insects requirements, which are complied with without hesitation or drama, since the mass awakening of mankind took care of all those selfish want problems decades ago. There is barely seconds to go of the golden age of selfish wants and crappy urban planning. Humanity turns this corner easily, like it is a boring turn on a roller coaster, because it is completely aligned with the ultimate plan for life in our universe. It is the most natural transition to our higher self after so many centuries of bad behavior, tragedies, and war. We barely notice the change. During our transition, mobile homes experience a design revolution with modification fit-out frenzy businesses popping up everywhere. People finally start to embrace the reality that mobile living is high value. In Australia, the government of this parallel reality, the new source code government, gives vehicles away to citizens as part of housing solutions. The vehicles of the future, however, are not confined to ground level, as you probably imagined. Using highest level mind power skills, human beings can now propel their vehicles and themselves through the skies in flight, levitation skills are a school subject children keenly study. And see you next time on the book How to Save Our Human Race.